Good night to one and all. This is Family Empowerment on Q Radio. We are here tonight. You're not hearing the familiar voice of the apostle or our very good pastor, Headley. But both of them are under the weather. So tonight, we will be, Minister Sherwin and myself will be carrying the program. We know that we have some big shoes to fill, but we will do our utmost best to give you an extremely interesting program. So we just want to say, as the apostle would say, call a neighbor, call a friend, call someone and let them know that Family Empowerment is on the air. Tonight, we are going to be talking about disrespect in the family. So I think that should be a fairly interesting topic. And with that, I hand you over to Minister Sherwin.
Good night, Barbados. We want to say good night to Apostle Hines and Pastor Headley. You know, they'll be here next time. They're just a little under the weather right now. We want to say good night to Minister Zenda Phillips and to all the listeners locked on. Welcome to Family Empowerment. What does the word respect mean? One definition states a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Due regard for feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Showing regard for their abilities and worth. Value their feelings and their views, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. Accepting them on an equal basis and giving them the same consideration you would expect for yourself. Let me look at this now from this perspective. How much respect can we measure in marriages these days? For example, a husband. Let's give him a nickname. Let's call him Bob. Bob sees a beautiful lady. He wants her badly. He runs her down, initiates conversations. Phone numbers are exchanged, etc. After a while, the conversation goes deep. The first thing he does is badmouth his wife by telling this lady some very bad, intimate details. He paints a very ugly picture of his wife and their marriage just to get sympathy from this lady because his main goal is to get into her panties. Just so, in a quick instance, he told a complete stranger intimate details about his wife, most of which are lies anyway. They always promise that they are going to leave their wife for you, and they never do. The end result, this stranger, aka now outside woman, now has lots of ammunition to throw into the wife's face anytime there is a confrontation. Where is the respect for the wife?
Well, there's no respect for the wife. There's no respect for the wife. That went through the window from the time he started his little escapade towards more than likely the younger lady.
True.
And the problem that will arise is that sooner or later, it is going to come to light.
Yeah.
And it always comes to light either that by someone telling the wife or even the same person, the same woman that he is going after.
True.
You know, tells the wife, you know, sometimes they get bold and it starts out with, you know, I ain't gonna call you when you're home, but then at 2 o'clock in the morning, phone ring, and wifey want to know what's going on.
Problems.
And you can't answer the phone, you gotta take out the phone and go in the bathroom. and she's probably saying, but you know, I miss you. And there you go. One thing lead to another. Then once that starts, you're gonna start to neglect your family.
True.
You're gonna start to neglect your family. Because the grass is always look greener on the other side.
Yeah.
So you go out there, you get involved with a lady, and after a while, it is the same thing over and over again. Because she run cold, so now he looking for somebody else to hunt.
True.
He looking for somebody else to hunt. But ladies, don't be believe that we are only saying this thing happens with women as well.
Yes.
And sometimes there is a man in a family that is going to work and he's working hard and he's providing for his family and he has a nice house, he has a nice car, he, make sure his wife is driving the best, his family is getting the best, and when she goes out and cheats, and then when you ask a question, he said, man, you think that money is all that you want? So, you've got to be very careful. So don't get the impression that we are here saying that only the men go and do these wrong things. The women do them as well.
It's true.
But you know what is hurtful? A lot of times, people is asked about what you bring to the table. A lot of times, some of us men leave good women that take care of our families and take care of our children, and some of them even go as far to help take care of your mother, their mother-in-laws, and leave them for people that don't bring anything to the table.
Nothing. All
they want is a time to go and party and have some drinks and get the bills paid. So you've got to understand that is where respect comes from in the beginning. But it does not only comes from that. Respect. Sometimes the respect that women are giving to their husbands is lacking. So they look elsewhere for comfort.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I'm not saying that you're supposed to go to every cockfight, especially if you're now married and you're trying to get your own home and that sort of thing, because every fact is money that you spend.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, but you shouldn't just sit down home and say, well, I ain't going nowhere. You got something. You have a goal in mind, but you can still get up and go places, and do things together and make a good example. We cook our food, pay $15 or $20, get on a bus, and go someplace and spread out and have a picnic.
Yeah, good idea.
Right? If you ain't got no car, you can cook your food, pay $3.50, go somewhere, spread out and have the same picnic. But we have Barbadians have this thing is that if you're going to have something, you have to go all out. You got to spend a lot of money to enjoy yourself. That's not true. The simple things are things that you can do to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, and you're correct because, okay, on the husband's perspective now, as you said, sometimes these men have good wives. If you take sick now, that young lady that you run around with, she's not going to take care of you because all she is for the money. But Mark leave out three things: heels, hair, nails, and makeup. But the wives too, yes, wives cheat on their husband, and the problem. They tell the outside man a lot of foolishness about the husband. They said, man, he don't take care of me financially because he's broke. Some even said, man, he's a 1 minute man. Some said, man, he can't get it up. Where is the respect for your husband? Most of the time, lies. Being told again, because some husbands do their best and are still frowned upon by their wives. Some people can't do nothing. Don't care how you do, you still ain't do. All you successfully did is give a man ammunition to throw in your husband's face if there's any confrontation. Now, look at this. This is also a big risk. You're also at risk of picking up a sexually transmitted disease. These days, we are constantly hearing that STDs are on the rise. And we wonder why. Man, look, we speaking the hard truth today. Me and Mark speaking the hard truth. Most people who cheat on their spouses do not wear protection. They don't.
It is true.
And that is complete lack of respect. Do you see why the STD rate is so high? No. And the ones who picks up the disease go home and blame the innocent person at home. It makes no sense because they don't want to take the blame. They know it's them. But they now decide, okay, I'm going to blame that person at home to take the blame off of myself.
Yes, the outside woman sweet, so she can't do nothing wrong. So the hard-working wife now that you treat her like she's a donkey. But don't forget, years ago she was sweet too.
Exactly.
So look outside women. At some point in time, you ain't gonna be sweet no more.
Nope.
So and a lot of times men leave the family and go and support other families, and this is hurtful. A man has children from a wife, and wife struggling to support the children, but he goes and support a family of 4 that none of them is his.
Exactly.
None of them is his. And a lot of times he's supporting that family, and the father of the children supporting the family too. And his family ain't getting nothing. Nothing. And that seems to be all right. He put on his clothes and he go to a party or he go to a fete and he stands up and he says, well, man, this is my young thing. And he feeling smart.
Yeah.
I mean, that is in the case when they look really good.
Really
but sometimes they leave their wives, and when you see them with, you ask yourself, no, man, something wrong. Something wrong here. I wear glasses, so he got to put on his glasses. See if you're seeing what is right.
That is so true, because some have really beautiful wives, but you're correct. Sometimes you see these men where you be like, yeah, seriously? But now we will speak of another form of STD. I know I don't want this. There are a lot of people that don't want this, which is worse than sexually transmitted diseases. These are sexually transmitted demons. Some even in the act pick up sexually transmitted demons and take home to your wife or your husband. This is the last thing you will want to do. These demons wreak havoc in your marriages and in your life. And most of the time, they're undetected. So you don't even know you have one. You don't even know they're there. And that is the driving force behind your problems. And most of the times, when you pick up one of these demons, you pick up a soul tie. If you pick up a soul tie, may God help you. Soul ties are real. Some people are in very abusive relationships. They want to leave, but feel they can't because they feel drawn to this person, although they don't love them. Some actually leave and keep going back, and they don't know why. They cannot understand why they cannot break this bond and leave this person that beating them so bad, treating them bad, spitting on them, doing all these things, don't give them nothing. The answer is soul tie. As soon as you start having sexual relations with that person, you form a soul tie with them. People may say, yes, they are godly soul ties. They are. But the godly soul ties, let's go to the scripture and let me give you an example of a godly soul tie. Genesis 2:24 says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. This is an example of a godly soul tie, the becoming one with your husband and wife. Ungodly soul ties now, when you have sex outside of marriage and find yourself connected to the wrong person, I will now give you the main examples of ungodly soul ties, how you know you have one. You have an unhealthy attachment to a person. As I said earlier, you just can't seem to break free from them. You are really obsessed with a person and don't know why. Number 3, you are taking on the traits of another person. Example, you start to behave like them. You might be a very cool person before you have sex with this person. Now you're aggressive. You're behaving just like them. Even in some cases, you start to look like them. I have seen this. Number 4, you are remaining in an abusive relationship, which makes no sense, when the end result can easily be death or serious injury. For some reason, you keep dreaming and thinking and fantasizing about this person or a person from your past. You always seem to want to hang on to something that reminds you of this person. Sex can be really pleasurable, but it can also be very dangerous.
Sure. Put a pin in for a second there.
Yeah.
Just let the people know that when you have sex with some person, you take a piece of them with you, and you leave a piece of you with them.
Exactly.
So when, I don't know what the youngsters will call it, but because I old, so you might be able to help me there. But when And my time we call it a hard C. So when a hard C had 15 women and 10 women and that kind of thing, he takes home a piece of all of them with him.
DNA.
Their DNA goes
Yeah,
with him.
his DNA
and them
their DNA,
his.
right, yeah.
Right. And this is why they say to you, when they start talking about things like AIDS and that sort of thing, when you have sex with Sister Harry, you had sex with everybody Sister Harry had sex with.
Exactly.
Right? And this is just to clarify you where you were talking about as far as these demons are concerned.
Soul ties, everything. Yeah.
Right? You know, so, you know, this is a very, very serious thing. And people take it extremely lightly. You know, a man, no, the young people call it body count. I think, you know,
body count.
Body count. I think that exactly what they say. You know, and they are proud to hear that, you know, somebody had 20, 30 body counts. And we know, I am not saying to you, I am not telling you that people from the older era didn't have outside relationships, because I'd be sitting here and lying. I'd be lying to you tonight. Because we know that men had children in villages, and we also know that the women, their wives had to take care of the children.
I'm glad you mentioned village, because they used to call them village rams.
Okay then. And so it is something, it is nothing new, but the scale that is on now. A lot of times though, not all the time, but a lot of times, those men still look after their children.
They did.
Right? I'm not holding an excuse for saying what they're doing is right, because it was wrong.
True.
Right? It's wrong. Right?
Yeah.
But if it is the lesser of the two evils, because nowadays we have men that have children from their wives and they don't look after the children.
It's true.
You know, they don't take care of them. You know, we got a lot of families that husband and wives sleep in two different beds. You know, and you know that when things start to break down, anytime you're in a relationship and you cannot carry on a civil conversation, things going badly.
Yes.
That if you say A, and some person can't listen to your A without saying B, C, you're going to have problems.
Yes.
I am saying, don't, because some person come and say something to you, you must just swallow it and go ahead. But you can respond respectfully.
True.
It doesn't have to be argument. You know, you can sit down and you can discuss things as two human beings. But as soon as you find that you walk through the door and you says, yes, love, I home.
Yeah.
You know, and the attitude changes. And don't fool yourself. A lot of times, men will go, and when they come home, the wife hug them and, man, move, man. You always just all foolishness.
Yeah.
You know, so it goes both ways. It goes. Sorry for cutting it, just not sure.
Not a problem, but you made a very good point. There are some men that just are not romantic. So sometimes you need to be romantic when you have a wife, because that's what she wants, romance. Some men, as soon as they finish having sex with the wife, they turn their back. When the wife wants a man to just hold her and caress her at that point. And some women real unmanly too. I tell you, some men prefer to sit in the round shop till it's time to go sleep, then to go home. And I know women can get angry at this word now, menopause. Some women use menopause to put men on pause. I believe that's strong. Look, if you hear men say, man, since this woman going through menopause, I can't talk to this woman. This woman always angry. You know, and to me, they use menopause to put men on pause.
But yes, that is true. But you know, there's always some places help. You can go and you can get counseling, you know, because people's body, I would assume, goes through menopause differently.
Yeah.
You know, some women would probably, it would be hard on them, and some it would not be.
Yeah.
You know, but it also has to do with, you have to sit down and talk to one another. You know, you let your husband know, you know, this is what happened, you know, so some days it might not be the best. But you don't use it as an excuse.
Communication.
You don't use
Communicate.
Right.
Right.
You don't use that excuse, you know. So, as we were saying, and this disrespect goes across the board.
Yes.
We have men that would prefer to play dominoes, that you said, than to go home. You know, and we have women that the husband would come home and hug them and, man, not tonight. I got a headache. I tired. That's all you think about. All them sort of things. I'm not saying because you can sexually abuse her, you know, because this is something consensual,
Yeah.
right? But this is what the problem that happens to a lot of marriages that I find when you talk to people. When you first talking and all kind of things are all well and nice. But you said earlier, if you communicate and you meet a girl and you say to her, listen, what I can tell you, I like a mantis. When I done, I don't want to touch nobody, I want to go sleep. She knows this before she get married.
Yes.
But because you want to get into her, you
comply. He comply at
so
first,
you
yeah.
hug up and that time you're there with your face twist on the side, and then right after you get married, you're going south. You're
Yeah.
doing something different. And I will say this to you people: and relationship is not what you do; it's what you stop doing.
Yeah.
I can say it again. And relationship is not what you do; it's what you stop doing.
Yeah.
Let me give an example. Yes, love. Let me go for ice cream. Let me go to this place. Let me go to that place. Let's go and visit the mother-in-laws. Mine this Sunday and yours next week Sunday. And then as soon as everything settle in and you got your own house and thing, you ain't doing nothing so.
Exactly.
Then things just stop doing.
Yeah.
But a lot of this, we talking all around, Jeremy, but a lot of this comes because people had left God out the relationship.
It's true. It's true.
You understand?
Yeah.
I remember you having to go to church, and a good friend of mine would say that my mother used to have me dress up in my bow tie and short pants and going along to church.
Yeah.
And not like what we do, stay home and send the children.
Exactly.
You go to church with your parents. And you go to church with your parents. And some of us had church on Saturdays and Sundays because one part, the wife might be a Seventh-day Adventist and the husband might be an Anglican or Pentecostal.
Yeah.
And you had to go to church.
Exactly.
You had to go to church. It was not like
It was not a choice.
you go to church today.
That is the question now that parents ask you. They don't like before you said they used to send them, but they don't send them. No, they ask you going to church today. No, I try to stay home and play games the whole day, sitting on text on the phone the whole day.
Yeah, and then we ask the question, why you got diabetes and all that kind of thing. I remember, and Sharon, you would have had part of this because you're in the 16. When we were growing up, you had chores,
Yeah.
and everybody know in the village which street light come on first. Because you can come home and do your chores and go outside and play.
And play.
Right?
Yeah.
And when that first street light come on, by the time the second one on, you're home.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
All of that is respect. You understand what I say to you? Your mother give you something to do. Nobody can stop you and tell you, man, come and do this and come and do that.
Exactly.
You respect your parents. You respect all of these things. And then it filters down. As a man get married and he did not have this kind of parental treatment, or he grew up in a home that women were beaten and don't fool yourself, man. Don't get, as the young people said, don't get tired. A lot of men just get beat too.
Some men get beat too.
You know, but
Yeah.
the shame, so then go in the place to tell nobody because
Some men get raped too.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know, but they may go in the place and tell nobody because the shame.
Men look soft. You know?
Exactly. So, and then this comes down to the man has children from a lady. He told them separate. And I give you an example. The man is going overseas. Despite that, you and the child mother don't live together. There should always be the communication. No child, I think I said this before, no child at 12 and 13 should be bringing a message from the father and saying, not from the father, because the father tell the child, well, listen, I going where? But, you know, the mother does not know.
The child mother should know.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, I not going to lessons tomorrow because my father gone away. And the mother there now shocked. Well, so she now has to put things in place. I to get that child lessons.
Yeah.
And this is what this is what we men do. We men have children from women, right? And then we bad talk the women once we are not friendly with the women.
Yes.
With our mothers, and our mothers. Well, people say take up fire race for the son, and say some of the worst things about the women. Sometimes a lot of it is lies, but they're
lies,
just
not
acting.
true.
They're acting on the behalf of their son,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Some women do some things, and let me tell you something. Parents hide up a lot for the children,
It's true.
because they have women that when they're horning the husband or the fiance or the child father can use the mother as coverage,
Yes, they do.
and men the same thing, because they know that the woman not gonna call she mother-in-law, because they know the women and father-in-laws and mother-in-laws a God
Yeah.
problem. So he said, man, I going with my mother.
Yeah.
You know, and that is total disrespect.
It is.
Total disrespect.
And you know, right? There are women now, if they're dealing with another man, and let's say they don't want to make love to their husband at night, you know what they do? They rub them with Benjis and Vicks, put it all in the neck, you know. So if the man tries to kiss the neck, no, he might burn off now with Benjis and Vicks. I tell you, they do it.
Oh, Father, they look for all kind of excuses, and we are in a time. We are in a time that respect needs to be brought back to the family. You know, respect needs to be brought back to the family, and this will happen when we bring the family back to God. I'm not going to talk about any particular church, because once you are comfortable, you can go, and it is not about church. It's about the Word of God. So, you know, you need to get back to your Bible. And this is the point that we have to make. It has to be back to your Bible. And on wrapping up, I would just like to say that, you know, find a church. Go to a church on Sunday. You know, there are so many churches all around Barbados. Read your Bible. Say your prayers. Try and stay safe. We at Family Empowerment wish you a very safe week. Thank you and good night.